Jackie, do we need the system? The Cisco thing?
Your call cannot be.
Yeah.
Please enter your conference number followed by the pound key. You are joining event 30,984. Bluff of District of Columbia, 2016-0121, inbound as a speaker.
Yes.
Okay, are we ready?
I think so.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C., and I'm here to provide a brief update on the district's response to COVID-19. Today will be a relatively short briefing. In next week, we have a number of very important things to share with you during this time. Monday, I will be presenting the DC Council the fiscal 2021 budget. And on Thursday, I will provide an update on the reopened DC Advisory Group report. And on Friday, we expect to talk more about summer activities. I am joined by members of my administration, Polly Donaldson, the Director of DHCD, John Falchicchio, the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, Chris Rodriguez, the Director of Homeland Security, and Christy Whitfield, the Director of the DC Department of Small and Local Businesses. I want to share with you where we are with data today. 135 new cases of COVID-19 reported, bringing our total number of cases to 6,871. And sadly, 368 DC residents have lost their lives to this virus. We are also showing the numbers of days on the right side of that graph in each number of cases reported on that day. Here you can also see an update to the metrics that we are following in order to move into the first phase of reopening. You can see that we are reporting 5 days of decline in community spread, as well as 3 days of a transmission rate below where we expect to see it. And we are also letting you know where we are with testing, including the ability to test in the 4 priority testing areas. Our hospital capacity is at 76% of normal hospital capacity, which means that we are below the 80% mark for a number of days. Finally, we are continuing to build our contact tracing force, including the IT infrastructure, and making critical hires to get that force up and running. So we will continue to talk to you about those metrics as we move towards phase 1 reopening. I also want to mention that we are continuing to share information around the use of masks and face coverings. We know that for most people in our city, wearing masks is new, me included, and it's taken some time to get used to. You will try many masks, and you will find the one that you like and the one that makes sense for you. But we know that wearing non-medical masks can help stop the spread of COVID-19. So asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic people can spread the virus. This virus can spread between people interacting in close proximity through speaking, coughing, or sneezing. So please, because of what public health experts tell us, is that wearing face coverings, we can blunt the spread of the virus. And as we approach a reopening, it's very important that we continue to remember that wearing a mask helps blunt the spread of the virus, but continue to practice social distancing where possible, and continue to frequently wash your hands. Also, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, that if you're sick, stay home, because none of this works if you're out sick and spreading the virus. So please wear a mask. So I should say more, that we I'm on slide 5. I signed a mayor's order last week requiring the use of masks in essential businesses, on public transit, and in rideshare. This message was emphasized this week as well with DC Metro, also requiring the use of masks on all Metro properties. So begin to pay close attention to all of those places, but wear a mask when you're out. I also have an update to the program that we announced on Wednesday, our pilot program for educational and academic retail shops pilot. And this will allow businesses that sell educational items to apply for a waiver to the non-essential business prohibition to do curbside and front door pickup. So today, those applications will be available. They will go live at 1 p.m. They include business categories for bookstores, art supply stores, music shops, toy stores, as well as those selling office supplies. It's not on that slide, but it also includes office supplies. So those applications are available at 1 p.m. They're very simple. If you apply today, we're going to do our best to turn it around very quickly. I also want to update on another program we created to support our small businesses. In late April, we made funds available through the DC Small Business Microgrant program, and some of these additional funds came from the Community Development Block Grant, a federal program, which are administered by DHCD and targeted for businesses in Ward 7 and 8. And today, I want to share that funding is still available for small businesses in Ward 7 and 8, and we will open the applications for the second round of grants on Wednesday, the 20th, and the businesses will have until May the 29th to apply. So if you are a small business in Ward 7 and 8 that didn't apply for a grant during the first round in the microgrants program, make sure you do beginning May 20th through May 29th. So with that, we'll take any questions. Questions? Questions? Okay. Amanda Gomez. Amanda Gomez.
Hi, thank
Yes.
you so much for, hello, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, hi, thank you so much. I have two questions. The first, can you, my read of the mayoral order from Wednesday was that everyone wear masks or face coverings, except for 3 groups you highlighted. And so I guess can you just clarify, because it looks like that's not the case, and
I did clarify.
I believe that's how other
if you
people
would just
read it.
Yeah, just refer to the statement I just made. In Washington, D.C., you're
Right.
required to wear a mask in essential businesses, on public transit, and in ride shares.
I guess I wonder why not require everyone to wear face coverings if that helps slow the spread, if it blunts the spread of the virus.
My recommendation to everyone is if you are in any place where you can't 6-foot distance, you're not sure you should wear a mask, but this is the requirement.
Okay. And my second question is about the reopen metrics. During your virtual town hall on the Reopen DC Advisory Group on April 23rd, I know you released like 11 metrics the administration was considering before moving to phase one. One metric included, for example, the positivity rate. Can you provide more insight into how you decided on these 4 metrics and if they could change?
These metrics were designed by the DC Department of Health, and they are intended to let us know the level of community spread and how it is decreasing in the city, as well as our ability to test and trace, and the ability of our hospital system to be able to accommodate new cases, especially acutely ill people suffering from the virus.
Do you anticipate these metrics to change at all as they had, or are these the metrics we're sticking with for a phase one?
If the Department of Health recommends something additional, I don't know that I expect that they would. But as they follow the progression of this virus, or hopefully the diminution of this virus, if they recognize something that they need to call to our attention, we certainly would consider it. Okay, Martin DeCaro.
Hello, Mayor Bowser. It's Martin DeCaro at Bloomberg. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
I have a question for you about 2 matters that I'd like for you to please address. I spoke to Councilmember Che this morning. She has sent the administration a letter asking for an answer about a couple of matters. One is when your administration might start assessing roads that can be closed so restaurants can have more outdoor seating when they begin to allow customers back. And number 2, when the city might start moving on building some more protected bike lanes, because we know that mass transit, taxi cabs, and Ubers are not going to return quickly. Public confidence needs to be restored before anyone wants to stand on a crowded bus again. But people might be looking for bicycles to get around town as commerce resumes. So 1, outdoor seating for restaurants using road space, and number 2, bike lanes.
Our DDOT is undergoing those reviews now, and I haven't seen the councilwoman's letter, but I'll certainly take a look at it.
Is this a priority for you, Your Honor?
Yes.
Can you elaborate, please?
I think I answered your question, Martin, that as we are looking at all of our reopen scenarios, and I think you know we have established 11 sector groups to evaluate how we reopen and how businesses come back, particularly hard-hit businesses and those that may be in later phases of reopening. We want to be able to support our city reopening in a sustainable way, but in a way that also brings back our economic vibrancy. And so those things are sometimes require some balance in considering all of those things. So DDOT is certainly engaged in that thinking. Megan, NBC4.
Good morning, Mayor. It's Megan Fitzgerald, NBC4.
Yes.
2 questions, and forgive me if I missed your response. I heard a little bit of it, but if you could just kind of clarify why there seems to be so much confusion as it relates to that face mask policy. I don't believe it came up in the briefing on Wednesday, but it then was in the press release. But then there was, us trying to get some more clarity to exactly what it entailed.
Sure.
And then also, if you could elaborate a little bit more about what people can expect on Monday for this pilot program for when these bookstores will open up. What's the, thought process behind opening up bookstores, and how will it be conducted so it's safe for the public?
Sure. So on the face mask, you mentioned that it was in our press release, but not mentioned in the press conference, and it may be hard to believe, but it was simply an oversight on my part. And so it was, all of the information you needed was included in the press release. So that's the answer to that question. The second part of your question was on the pilot and what people can expect. Once we read how businesses are proposing to do the curbside pickup, I think I could answer you more fully. But what residents should expect is that they interact with the business. They may have a website, they may have a way to call in, and they should be able to pay and pick up their supplies either virtually or at the door or at the curb. So those are our general expectations, but we know that the entrepreneurs know best how their operations will work for their customers, and we expect them to include that information in their waiver application. And then we can make more specifics available then. But people should call the businesses. We will list the approved waivers so you know who is operating and where they're operating. Eliana?
Hi there, this is Eliana Block with WUSA 9. I had a quick question because it was my understanding that restaurant employees are required to wear masks. I wanted to know if that includes those involved in food preparation in the kitchen. I ask because there's some distinctions in other areas. Thank you.
Sure. Can I have my team just clarify what part of the restaurant is covered, if not all part, because it is an essential business.
Sure. So, Mayor, for any essential business, the employees are required to wear a mask or face covering. And so for restaurants, whether they're in the front doing helping with the curbside pickup or the grab and go, employees would have to wear it. And if they're in the kitchen, they would also have to wear a mask as well.
Round of microgrants, you said that 7,000 businesses applied. Do you know how many of those were actually able to get funding?
Sure.
Sure. So for the microgrant program, there was 7,331 applications. And so what we've done is we've gone through a process by which we're notifying the applicants. There were about 3,069 individuals who applied, and they have notifications and are connected with CDFI in order to get their award. There's also about 2,400 businesses that were approved and got a grant notification, and they have to verify some information with the CDFIs in order to get their award. There was also a good number of businesses that needed to provide a little bit more information in order to complete their application. And so we're in the process of working with the businesses, the CDFIs, and DEMPED's business development unit to make sure that we get through each of the applications that was incomplete so that they can get an award. And we hope to have that process wrapped up this month so that we know how much funding was allocated to each individual business and be able to give a better sense of where that money was allocated across the district.
So just to clarify, that's 3,000 independent contractors plus 2,400 businesses.
Yes, and then the remainder would be the ones that are the incompletes that need to give us some more information. So, the number of independent contractors, that number won't change. That's 3,069. We have also seen, I should mention, a couple of businesses that were given an award notification who actually declined. They said that they've made a pivot or have adapted, and they won't be accepting the award. So we have that kind of bucket as well. So there's a couple different scenarios with 7,331 award notifications going out. You can imagine there's a whole plethora of it. Well, the one thing we do want to urge is for businesses who did get a notification that their application was incomplete, we do want to hear from them. And it's important that we hear from them so that we can get their application turned around and turn that incomplete notification into a award notification.
All right, thank you, everybody.